Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Dio here with another first 10 turns guide on the very hard difficulty in Mortal Empires. This time we're covering the Emperor of the Empire of Man, Karl Franz. Before we get into this guide, I'd like to apologize for the lack of videos lately. The reason is that I was ill for the past 2.5 weeks and lost my voice for most of it, so while I was able to do some recording and editing, I was completely unable to do any voiceovers until now. But I'm back in full swing with more guides coming this week to make up for it. Anyway, let's get to it. Before you do anything else, check your diplomacy and get some money for a non-aggression pact with Gelti. Get a trade agreement and military access with Luen, and another trade agreement with Kislev. It's time to move Karl towards Grunberg and attack the secessionist army. Make sure to fight this manually to preserve your army for the coming battles. Deploy your cavalry on the right flank here, which will keep them hidden to the enemy due to this ridge blocking their view. Keep your cheap spears up front to absorb the enemy fire, and put Karl in front of your handgunners to give him a clear line of sight. Focus your handgunners on the enemy lord as much as possible, as he can be a nuisance if left unchecked. Bring your cavalry from the flank to take out the enemy crossbows. Once the lord is dealt with, get your ranged units to fire into the enemy melee unit's flank to break them very quickly. Once the enemy rout, make sure to chase down as many of them down as possible before ending the battle. After the battle, I recommend you take the replenishment to keep your momentum going and grab Route Marcher on Karl. Now attack the settlement of Grunberg and once again, fight this manually. Deploy your melee and ranged units in the back and use your cavalry to scout ahead. You can also use your cavalry to lure a couple of units away from your main force. Get Karl to tank a couple of enemy units so that your handgunners can make short work of them. Let your cavalry deal with any routing units so they don't rally and come back and hit you in your flanks. Rinse and repeat the strategy with Karl tanking to take an easy win. After the battle, occupy the settlement and grab any of these blue skills on Karl. I prefer Fervent to combat vampire corruption later on in the campaign. Recruit a couple of free company militia and a unit of archers. Upgrade Altdorf to tier 2 and begin researching tithe rebates for some growth and public order. Begin moving towards Ubersreich, but make sure you remain within your own territory so you can recruit 3 units of archers. Attack Ubersreich with Karl. You'll be outnumbered here, but this can still be easily won with reasonable casualties if fought manually. Despite being the defenders, the enemy will come to you due to your ranged advantage. The terrain here will allow you to create choke points to funnel the enemy into, depriving them of their numerical advantage. Once again, try to focus your handgunners on the enemy lord and make sure to keep a couple of melee units on each flank. These blobs of enemies make perfect targets for your archers to do some serious damage. Don't forget to use your cavalry to take out any ranged units the enemy may have and to shatter routing units. The enemy army will suffer army losses pretty quick due to the blobs of units they'll create at these choke points. After the battle, occupy the settlement and continue down the blue line on Karl. Recruit some more free company militia and archers. Demolish the barracks at Altdorf, as Ubersreich also has the same building. On turn 4, you'll get this event pop up. The faction will be random, so side with whoever you like. Bear in mind that anyone with under 2 loyalty will have a chance to rebel against you. You should have enough movement to attack Alhard this turn. You can either fight this manually or auto-resolve, but I'm lazy, so auto-resolve it is. Continue down the blue line for Karl Franz, and set the province commandment to Council of Burgomeisters for growth. Go ahead and build a weaving house, a tap room, and fields in Altdorf. Recruit a new lord in Ubersreich. Ideally you want to go for a huntsman general for their bonuses to ranged units. Recruit 3 units of archers and grab survival expert and experienced hunter on your newly recruited lord. Besiege Helmgard with your new lord, switch Karl into march stance, and move all of Karl's units into your second army. This is so they don't join the fight very tired due to marching. Fight this manually to prevent losing any units. Deploy your army on the left side of the map and focus the enemy ranged units. Get your cavalry to attack the main gate while you keep the enemy busy with your main force. Support your cavalry with free company militia, but move them close to the walls to avoid mortar fire. I find moving your lords up on the walls helps blob up enemy units, making them easy targets for your ranged. Get your cavalry to attack their mortars and use the free company militia to hit their main force in the back to finish the battle. It's a messy one, but this marks the end of the secessionists. After the battle, occupy the fort and grab Route Marcher on your new lord. Upgrade the fields in your capital and save your population surplus to upgrade Altdorf to tier 3 before upgrading any of your minor settlements. Demolish the barracks in Ubersreich and set Helmgard's commandment to Council of Burgomeisters. Once your tap room is constructed, Gottrek and Felix will spawn near Altdorf. Grab your second lord and move his units into Karl's army, switch him to march stance and begin moving him towards Gottrek. Move Karl back towards Ubersreich and recruit more units to fill his army. Build fields in Ubersreich and upgrade your weaving house in Altdorf. Begin researching mass-produced small ammunition in your tech tree. When you get these events, I recommend you always make sure to have at least 1000 prestige saved up for other events that may pop up. Grab Gottrek with your second lord and begin moving him down towards Karl Franz, then recruit some archers in his army as well. Bastogne shouldn't have any allies, so go ahead and declare war on them. You can either keep sacking Montfort for experience or take it for yourself. Grab whichever blue skill you like the most on Karl, but I tend to go for reassuring presence. Move Gottrek towards the border of Helmgard and recruit more archers into his army. This is a good time to complete the first quest battle for Karl. Go ahead and do this now so you can get your hands on a wizard hero. After the battle, I recommend you grab the replenishment and then begin moving your new hero towards Karl. Grab Irrepressible on Karl Franz. Make one space in Karl's army by transferring a unit to Gotrek's army instead, and move your wizard hero into Karl's army. The greenskins have likely started to move to attack you, so bring Gotrek into reinforcement range and attack them with Karl. This should be an easy auto-resolve battle. Grab Lightning Strike on Franz and go down the magic tree on your wizard. Recruit more archers in Gotrek's army. It's finally time to upgrade Altdorf to tier 3. You should also be able to upgrade Helmgard to tier 2. On turn 10 you should start upgrading Alhard to tier 2 and wait for Altdorf to upgrade to tier 3. Defend against all Skull Smasher attacks while you wait. When Altdorf is at tier 3, build a gunsmith and recruit mortars as soon as possible so you can continue your expansion south. And that's it, the first 10 turns is Karl Franz on the very hard difficulty in Mortal Empires. As mentioned before, Bretonnia makes for a good target to expand into next, as you do not want to be at war with other Empire factions. The only exception being Marienburg, as they are not part of the Empire. They are also very likely to attack you at some point, so be prepared by building walls and Alhard. Eventually the vampire counts will start spreading across the Empire, reducing your imperial authority significantly. You should dedicate armies to fight the vampire count and returning all settlements to the original elector count. You'll be able to confederate all of these lands eventually, so keeping your authority high is most important. If you like this guide, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more Warhammer 2 content. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other lords you'd like to see covered, or if you'd be interested in any other types of guides for Warhammer 2 on this channel. See you next time. Toodles.